Bull SHIT. This is a trap. So why exactly am I calling BS and what can we do? Let's look here to our seasonality chart. From late February into March, we go down, down, down. Well, have a look at this pattern because that's exactly what we're doing here. Bitcoin on the left, there's your January low. We went through that right here. There's the January low. And then we go to a 200 DMA test and a lower low. Look here really close because this is when we actually get a big lower wick, right? We get a pretty big push below the 200 MA and then snap back. That's exactly what happened today. Yeah, that is exactly what happened. And the reason why I think this might be a trap is because we're still below 582, which means that we're actually below the previous monthly low. We're actually getting more bearish evidence. Until we recapture 583 and hold until the end of the month, I have to assume that what my eyes show me is this is a trap. Have a look. This is where we started, and I said, mega crash, and we came all the way back down for a gap fill. This area is really, really important because now it's basically going to be a pass or fail for whether people trust Trump. That's what it really comes down to. If we look here, we just talked about this pattern. So Bitcoin on the left here, all the way down below the 200, all the way back up for a monster bounce. So if you were a wussy in the last little bit here, as we went down, 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 well, the prices that we saw only a week or two ago might get back up to there. What does that mean? If we're going to retrace, which is basically what Bitcoin shows us, we should get a nice little bounce here, maybe somewhere around the 50, maybe a bit lower. I would probably aim for the key relative low at roughly 590. Why? That's what the pattern says. So if the prices of last week are really enticing to you, you should consider trimming into strength if it happens. Why? Because we could actually roll over and continue to go lower. What if it's IWM? It didn't even pause here on the 200 MA, right? There's your January low. Blah, right? Went way lower. It just puked it. Look, that's yucky. That is yucky. So if we continue the story here, this is what the market was told when back in November 17th, we were told, and this goes all the way back to that gap on the chart there. Take Trump seriously, but not literally. Well, the market is now taking him seriously and literally. Why? We're red. Right now, the NASDAQ is down by 3.6%. It briefly even went into correction territory. Off the high, it's now down by 10%, right? That's a pretty nasty cut. That's a correction. NVIDIA's deleted $1 trillion from its market cap. And the S&P, that's right, it's red year to date, down by 1.5. So when we keep pointing to this area here, it's the voting on whether people are bullish or bearish from before and after Trump. And remember, as the Germans, they go mega big up. They go mega big up. They go mega big up. This is the German chart. They're in recession. Right? just keeps wanting to go up and up and up. That's what the U.S. should be doing right now. So we're seeing things escalate even more and rhetoric's ratcheting up. I'm not going to comment on what he's doing or why he's doing it. Why? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to take him seriously and literally now. I think other people are doing that too. Other investors. Why? Look at the charts. They're down. Look at year to date. The Magnificent Seven. Pew, pew, pew. Right? They're fired. Pew, pew, pew. Down 17% for NVIDIA. Ouch. All right. Thanks, Alibaba. Google's down by 8%, 9%. They launched an AI search feature today. That'll be interesting. Tesla. Oh my goodness. Tesla. You kind of suck. Wow. It's down by half. Went to as high as roughly 500. Down here to 260. Ouch. Right. That stings. That does sting. We can see the big winners and losers here so far this year by just basically going here. What about the losers? Yeah, those are the magnificent stocks. They're not so magnificent right now. The market is attempting to stage a comeback, but here's what it's doing. It's failing. S&P failed. This would be on a daily chart for up to 3 weeks. RSP did pass though. If we look at the chart, this one's actually trying to start going back up. So trying to bounce on the 200 MA with a bullish engulfing here. Hey, not that bad. This alert is from our system, the algo.com. But the other ones are trying to go through and they are due for continuation. So this pattern we're looking at right here, it's basically saying we should get a monster bounce and then TBD, right? To be determined. The reason why this matters is because we were looking for, let me jump forward to here. Our trim would have been at, this one here would have been at 580, 585. That's how we manage our risk here. Risk reward of 3.5 to 1. We would be trimming at 585. So if we go back to here, That means we would be managing our risk roughly into this area right here. If we don't repeat, we would just get our stop out. All right, you're complicating things, and I'm confused now. Our system thinks that the market is oversold, right? It's been going down. It's attempting to stop going down. It's curling or hooking. That's what our pattern looks for. So if we bring our lines back, let's actually hide them. Let's go to a line chart. My hook might be a little bit easier to see. It's not very obvious, but that's what it's trying to do. It didn't quite pass. If we look here to RSP, the curl should be a little bit more evident. You can see it right there, right? The curl. So it's curling to go back up. It's due for a bounce. What's a bounce? An oversold bounce is a dead cat bounce. We're not sure if this is capitulation or basically what I alluded to at the beginning. Is it Bitcoin? Because look, if it's Bitcoin and we're going to go to all the way back up, well, remember, look at where we closed. We closed roughly here on the S&P 500. And before we go further, I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. If you could please consider smashing that thumbs up or subscribing to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. So if this is where we are and we're going to go close to the 50 MA, again, look how much room is left here. And where do we go? Basically back to the key relative low. That's 585 to 590. Okay. But then what happens? We come all the way back down to where we started. Oh, we actually even go a little bit red. Yes, we do. We form higher lows, but we're now stuck between short and long-term prices. Until we break out to the upside, we're kangaroo. We're stuck. What do you do in a kangaroo? You bounce around. Don't want to get chopped up? Get off the train. It's that simple. So what's going to happen? We're going to go up and come back down, puke it, and come back down again one more time. What's interesting here is that the reason why Bitcoin's actually down is because we were told there's not going to be any new purchases. They're going to reallocate existing things they've confiscated over to a fund. So that was a pretty big disappointment. Yes, it's a pretty big disappointment, but we're still forming higher lows, but we're not forming higher highs, right? We're consolidating. Forming a flag. All right. So if that same thing happens here to the S&P 500 now, let's delete the lines and see if we can repeat it. Again, I'm just doing on the left with the two arrows and on the right. So if now we look here to the S&P, how high could we go? Well, it could be over, right? It doesn't have to repeat. What we're looking for is a template. And otherwise, we've already done damage. We've already discovered a new low. And as I told you on higher time frames, I'll look at those in a minute. The onus is now on the bulls to what? Make us stop going down. That's what our system is looking for, the algo.com. You can sign up for a 45-day free trial if you want to find out more about that, or to subscribe to the channel because I'll update you for free every day. If we're going to get our bounce now, maybe as high as 590, right? So our target at roughly 585 to trim would mean that if it repeats the Bitcoin move, it would look something like this right now. That's what it would look like. We get our trim to manage the risk up here. Now we come right back down to being slightly above where we started. All right. If that doesn't sound appealing to you, then don't trade. Wait for a better setup. Why? Because as we get closer to the end of the month, this is where we're going to see if we can recapture 582. Why do you keep talking about 582? All right, let me show you. Let's go here to our weekly chart. Does this look bullish to you? Does it look like we're pointing straight up? Because it shouldn't. There's lots of yellow. What does yellow mean? Caution. What does volume say? Increasing. All right. We're going down and more people are excited. What does that mean? As the price goes down, people are selling more. Really? Yes. And we got a bounce here on the 50 MA. That's our first true test. So are we actually going to hit it? What's important to note here is that our 200 DMA is basically the same mathematical equation as the 50 weekly. Not to overcomplicate it, it's the same thing on the weekly and the monthly. If we go here, again, anyway, so do we actually have to hit it? People weren't sure if we have to hit the 200 MA, right? Got caught a little bit over, sell it, get to the lower high, you fade that baby. We look here to what? To QQQ? Yes, look at the dominant pattern. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. That's right. If we fizzle here, it's probably going to go down. So this is a really important pivot. Look at it right here. Previous high. What's going to happen? To be determined. All right, to be determined. A few more quick things here. All right, there's the red team. These are still due on Monday. We would purchase them at 4 o'clock on Friday. Sorry, on Monday, because today's Friday. Buy them on Monday if they're going to hold. Looking for those same alerts. Ray Dalio says, not so fast. We got a final boss. We're going to have a heart attack. When? Probably within the next 3 years, give or take a year. Cool. So like under Trump's presidency, bullseye. Yep. Cool. And how is that starting so far? negative 2.4% GDP. Nice, right? That's really winning. If you flip the chart upside down, feels like we're winning. All right, cool. Oh, I didn't plan to have this up, but here's my 401k account right now. So you can actually see, you can pause the video if you want. My watch list is right here, and I'll talk more about this in 1 second here. Bear market potential. So is your portfolio prepared for this? Because I don't really want it to happen. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or in X, the link's in the description. Here's my 2025 template and the brief update we have here. Now we're getting evidence that if we remain below 583, we go back here to our weekly chart. We're in a breakdown. We have a bearish setup. So we're below the candle low, and currently below that low. On the monthly chart, where are we? Well, we're below support. So I've been saying this over and over. It's support until it doesn't hold, as you probably know in your account. So if you look here, this isn't support anymore. It's not a higher low. Why? It went lower. So it's a lower low. That's right. We have to wait all the way until the end of the month to get there. If we make this really simple, oh my goodness. Jerome Powell saved the market today, but Trump just can't stop talking. So I'm not going to tell him not to talk. He talks all the time. President Trump's going to be talking again on Monday. Is he going to rebuttal to Zelensky? Is he going to be talking about Mexico? I don't know. Just pay attention on Monday, pay attention on Sunday. And on Wednesday, there's supposed to be more tariffs. There might even be more tariffs on dairy today or on Monday. Man, I don't know. Just can't seem to help himself. And then wait until April 2nd. So at the outset of the video, I said, watch between now and the end of the year. But I also am telling you, all right, well, you're sounding a little bit mixed here. Yes, short-term pain for long-term gain. Isn't that what Trump said? Yes. Look at the seasonality chart, right? Nike swoosh, just do it, do it, do it. So if this is all talk, then what should happen here is pretty simple. We should see him not being taken so seriously. We have a fixed date, April 2nd. Pay very, very close attention. And yes, it's BULLSH T. There you go. If you're feeling these things too, maybe you want to join a community where you might have a little bit more of an advantage. So you can get access to my 401k account like I talked about, or you can just copy it for free right now if you want to. These are the stocks in my current account. You can see which stocks I'm ordering. That's AAP and AI. These are new positions, DBA, AI, AAP. Those are all new buys. And so far in the year, I'm going to humble brag for a second here. Boop, boop, boop. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Up by over 9% so far this year, realized. And I'm up an additional 0.8 unrealized. That's 10% on the year. That's the annualized returns. So if this interests you, you can please go to thealgo.com, or you can trade with me, Justin from YouTube. If not, maybe you want to click on the second or third link in the description to join me for free. Thanks so much.